Old letters of love. There's something quietly powerful about an old letter. Its faded ink, the crinkled paper, and the gentle tug it gives your heart the moment you open it. I never thought paper and pen could carry so much love until I moved away from my family. It was the first time I had lived apart from them. I had taken a job in a different city, far enough that weekend visits became rare and calls often felt too short. At first, I tried to stay strong. I reminded myself that this was a necessary step for my future. But the silence of the apartment, the unfamiliarity of everything around me, and the absence of my family's laughter began to weigh heavily on me. Then came the first letter. It was from my mother, neatly folded, tucked inside a plain white envelope. She wrote about the little things, how the plants in our garden were growing, how Dad had finally fixed the leaky faucet in the kitchen, how my youngest sibling had painted a picture of me with a big, bright smile. Her handwriting was the same I'd seen scribbled on lunchbox notes and birthday cards for years, and it brought me instant comfort. I could almost hear her voice as I read her words, each one echoing with warmth and care. She ended the letter with, "No matter how far you go, our hearts are always side by side." That one letter changed everything. I replied the next evening. I poured my heart onto the page, telling her how lonely I'd felt and how much I missed everyone. I told her about my new neighborhood, my coworkers, the food, and even the struggles of learning how to cook properly. And thus began our tradition. Letters, once a week, like clockwork. My father soon joined in. His letters were fewer but always deeply thoughtful. He had a quiet way of expressing love. He didn't say much, but his words lingered. He would send clippings from newspapers, tiny sketches of things he found funny, and notes about memories we had shared when I was younger. In one letter he wrote, "I miss the sound of your footsteps in the morning." That one line made me cry like I hadn't in months. Then my little sister began writing too. Her letters were full of scribbles, stickers, and colorful doodles. She wrote about school, her favorite new TV show, and how she was trying to take care of my old room. "I water your cactus every week," she once wrote proudly, "even though it's plastic." I laughed so hard at that one I kept it pinned on my fridge. Every letter from my family felt like a warm hug. They brought the scent of home, the feel of our wooden kitchen table, the sound of our dog barking in the backyard. I began to wait for them eagerly, checking the mailbox each day with hope. I would read each letter several times, often before bed, when the loneliness crept back in. One week, I received a larger envelope. Inside was a bundle of notes from my cousins, neighbors, even my childhood teacher. My mother had gathered them for me, knowing I needed more than just her words. It reminded me of how deeply I was loved, even from afar. Writing letters became more than just a routine. It became therapy. It gave me a way to stay close, to process my feelings, to reflect on the beauty of my family's love. Over time, I even started writing to myself, letters of encouragement, hope, and healing. They became small gifts to my future self. I kept every single letter in a wooden box under my bed. That box grew heavier with each passing month, but I didn't mind. It was filled with paper and ink, yes, but also with warmth, laughter, tears, and the kind of love that doesn't fade with distance. Years passed. I eventually moved back home, closer than before, and slowly life returned to its old rhythm. But the letters never stopped. Even now, sometimes, my mother still sends me one. Just a short note with a flower drawn in the corner, or a recipe she knows I love. We talk on the phone every day, but the letters, those are special. They are a different kind of love, quieter, deeper, lasting. When my father passed away a few years ago, I went through his belongings and found a box. Inside were all the letters I had written him, each one carefully folded, kept safe, treasured. It was then that I realized our letters weren't just for me. They had meant just as much to him. I sat on the floor that day and reread every letter I had sent. I laughed, I cried, and I felt him near. His favorite one, I think, was the one where I described a dream I had about fishing with him, just like we used to. He had written "Best Dream Ever" on a sticky note and stuck it on the envelope. Now, every time I miss him, or anyone I love, I open that wooden box under my bed. I pick a letter, any letter, and read it slowly. I let the words wrap around me like a blanket. They remind me that love, real love, doesn't fade with time or distance. It lives on in memories, in gestures, and in letters written with care. So, if you ever feel far from someone you love, write to them. Write with your heart. Don't worry about the perfect words. Just speak your truth. Because one day, that letter may be exactly what they need. Or maybe, years from now, it'll be what you need. My old letters are my treasure. Not because of the paper or the handwriting, but because they held me together when I was falling apart. They reminded me that no matter where life takes us, family, true, loving family, will always find a way to reach across the miles and hold us close. After I returned home, life took on a new rhythm. Though I was back in the company of my family, I often found myself reaching for those letters. They had become a part of me, proof that even in the loneliest moments love had found its way to my heart, carried on ink and paper. Some weekends, I would take out the wooden box and go through the letters one by one, as if flipping through a photo album. Each letter brought back a wave of memory. There was the one my mother wrote when she was worried I hadn't eaten enough. "I know you're busy," she wrote, "but please cook something warm. You're still my little one, no matter how big your world gets." There was one from my sister that had a pink heart drawn over every word. "I miss our pillow fights," she had written in crayon. "Come home soon and don't forget my hug." She was so young then, yet her words held a pure kind of affection that no one could ever replicate. I came to understand something deeper during those quiet moments with the letters. The true value of communication that isn't instant. In a world full of messages and quick replies, these handwritten notes taught me patience, presence, and permanence. They were not just information, they were emotion frozen in time. Years passed, and we all grew older. My sister started high school, then college. She began writing me letters when she moved out, following the very path I once took. I smiled when I saw her envelope in my mailbox for the first time. I recognized my mother's habit in her, writing about little things with such love. "You were right," she said in her letter. "Living away is hard. But your letters helped me, so now I'm sending you mine." My mother, who had once been the first to write, began slowing down. Her hands ached with age, and sometimes she would call instead. But every few months, a letter would still arrive. Even with shaky handwriting, even with short phrases, her words were like a thread that kept stitching our hearts together. "Just wanted to say I love you," she wrote in one of her last notes. "I don't need to say much. You already know." Then came the day I became a parent. Everything changed. In the sleepless nights with my newborn in my arms, I found myself writing again, this time to my child. Letters they wouldn't read for years, maybe decades. Letters filled with stories of love, sacrifice, and the joy of family. I told them about the quiet apartment I once lived in, the mailbox I checked every day, the way their grandmother's words gave me strength when I felt I had none. My spouse joined in. On birthdays and special days, we both wrote our child letters. We placed them in a new wooden box, one we labeled with their name. I hoped one day when they're older and trying to find their place in the world, those letters will give them the same comfort mine gave me. One rainy afternoon, I decided to digitize the old letters from my family to preserve them. As I scanned each one, I read them aloud. I could hear the voices again. Dad's firm but tender tone, Mom's sweet encouragement, my sister's cheerful chatter. The tears came freely that day, not from sadness, but from deep gratitude. It's funny how much life can change, but the feeling of love expressed in a letter never fades. One day, I organized a small exhibition at our local community center. Letters of love, stories that travel through time. I brought a few of my family's letters and displayed them alongside others from people in our neighborhood. The response was overwhelming. So many visitors shared their own stories, notes from grandparents, love letters between spouses, letters written during wartime or illness, between friends separated by distance or time. One woman clutched an envelope and whispered, "This was the last thing he gave me before he passed away." Another showed a postcard that traveled across 4 countries before finally arriving. It reminded me that we all carry pieces of each other in our words. Some of us carry them in our hearts, and some in ink and paper. That exhibition sparked a new idea. With the help of a few friends, I started a small project collecting letters from people who had lived apart from their loved ones. We created a website and an archive, the Letter Project. People from all over the world began sending in their scanned letters or writing new ones to loved ones they'd lost or still missed. It was healing, not just for them, but for all of us who read them. One submission came from a soldier stationed far from home. He wrote to his daughter every Sunday and kept her responses folded in a small notebook. Another was from a mother to her son who had gone abroad for studies. "Every word I write to you is like sending a hug," she wrote. I understood that feeling all too well. In the years since I first moved away from home, technology has changed, but love has not. Letters have taught me that distance is only a number. Love finds a way through silence, across time zones, over oceans, and through storms. Now, whenever someone asks me how I stayed close to my family, even when we were far apart, I smile and say, "We wrote letters." And when they say, "Nobody writes letters anymore," I tell them, that's exactly why they matter. Letters are not outdated, they are timeless. They are proof that even in an age of speed, there is still room for slowness, intention, and depth. They are proof that love doesn't have to shout. Sometimes it only needs to be written down, sealed in an envelope, and sent with care. Looking back, those letters didn't just help me survive my time apart from my family, they helped me grow. They taught me to express myself, to stay connected, to hold on. They helped me become the kind of parent, sibling, and child I always hoped to be. And today, as I watch my child seal their own letter to their grandmother, I know that the cycle of love continues, letter by letter, word by word.